Suffolk County Sheriff Stephen Tompkins was just federally indicted here in Boston, and he was charged with 2 counts of extortion under color of official right. Now, these indictments are obviously just accusations. He is presumed innocent, and I don't know if he's had his initial appearance yet in court, but when he does, I assume he is going to be released on his own recognizance, perhaps with some conditions. Mr. Tompkins has served as the sheriff here in Boston since 2013, and it's an important job. He oversees 2 jails here in Boston, South Bay and Nashua Street, and he also oversees a civil process division. According to the indictment, Mr. Tompkins oversees roughly 1,000 employees. The indictment goes on to explain that he is a state employee and he is subject to certain ethical responsibilities. He cannot solicit or receive anything of substantial value as a result of his position, and he also can't use his position to receive anything of substantial value for himself. The indictment talks about a couple of past allegations that did not rise to the level of criminal charges, and I don't think that they would be admissible in a trial if this case goes to trial. For example, they talk about a 2015 disposition where he agreed that he used his political influence to get store owners to take down signs that were supportive of his opponents in the sheriff races, and that in 2020 he was being investigated for creating a position for his niece and also for using some of the sheriff's department employees to help him with childcare. But at the heart of this complaint is a cannabis company that Mr. Tompkins allegedly invested in. He paid $50,000, he wired it out of his retirement account, and in exchange he was able to get a pre-IPO equity interest in the company. The company claims that they were not seeking retail investment at the time. They had raised money, and Sheriff Tompkins had tried to invest because he wanted, quote unquote, some of that cannabis money. Now, the company declined him, and allegedly, according to the complaint, he pressured them and he reminded them that he was instrumental in helping them to get their license and that they would need his help to renew their license when the time came. So the allegation is that he pressured them into allowing him to invest in this cannabis organization. Sheriff Tompkins is accused of wiring $50,000 in investing into a holding company whose sole asset was this cannabis company. By mid-2021, that investment had almost tripled, but then it had gone down in value, and at some point he requested a refund. He wanted to use the money for campaign re-election expenses and perhaps some other things. And the value had actually gone down, but he pressured the company allegedly, and the company relented, and they were afraid of any retaliation and that he would no longer use his influence to help, but maybe to harm their ability to renew their license. So they acquiesced and they gave him the $50,000 back in several different checks. According to the indictment, the check memos were meant to obfuscate the reason for the money being transferred. They said company expenses or loan repayment, which obviously isn't exactly what was being done according to the indictment. This was an investment, and rather than just taking out the money that he was entitled to, he was actually getting extra money, allegedly by twisting their arm, by strong-arming them and persuading them that it was in their best interest to just give back his money in full. So it appears that Sheriff Tompkins didn't actually benefit from this investment. If anything, his money just sat for a period of time and he got the exact amount of money back. Just as good to keep it in a savings account without much interest accruing. Again, these are just allegations. Nothing has been proven. He is still presumed to be innocent, and it'll be interesting to see how this plays out and how long it plays out for. Whenever there is a politician that's at the center of a criminal case, obviously the pressure is on. So I expect that the government is going to make a full court press on this case, and hopefully he's got a strong defense to counteract this and to fight for his liberty and fight for his innocence.